Disclaimer. We are two regular guys who love to talk Bone Thugs and Harmony. We do not represent Bone Thugs or any Bone affiliate. We are also not Bone Thugs experts. The views and information you hear in this podcast may be based on personal opinion. Please feel free to leave corrections and clarifying information in the comments. And enjoy.
Straight off the motherfucking internet. Two true hosts talking about the double Glock. Cecil, Johnny. Kick that shit, Feenics.
Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate. Uploading new videos every Thursday, so join us. Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate. Uploading new videos every Thursday, so join us. Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate. Uploading new videos every Thursday, so join us. Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate. Uploading new videos every Thursday, so join us.
Let's welcome to the doors back, folks, and get in the podcast.
What's up, y'all? It's fucking Thug Thursday. Cecil West in the house. And of course,
Johnny boy, Lippy.
so we're gonna switch it up. This week is different. I was talking to John and we were trying to figure out what we were gonna do for this week, and you know, we usually pre-record and you hear things a couple weeks later, but I was like, man, I just wanna take this week and, you know, let's just kick around some stuff. We got some great guests that are coming up. We're gonna interview Soulja Boy next week. We got Julio Costanzo. His interview was awesome. I can't wait to drop that one on you guys. So we'll probably drop that next week. But this week, I think we're just going to talk a little Bone Thug. Two guys talking Bone Thugs.
Taking it back to the basics, like we started it.
Yeah. It's not as much stress for me. It's fucking. I'm always like stressed out on an interview. I want to make sure that I want to make sure that the interview is always good. I always think about being the guest, and I'm like, man, I wouldn't want to be asked some fucked up questions. So I always try to make sure we're putting on our best for the guests. But I think every guest so far has had a great experience. Every one of them leaves, you know, really pumped, and you know, I'm really excited about the future. I alluded a little bit on my Facebook, but there's some great things in the future for Beyond the Harmony and you guys as well.
Yep. Waiting till y'all see it.
So, yep, it's been a wild. We've done content every day for going on. We just started the second week of content every day. I don't know if we're gonna keep doing content every day, but we wanted to see the response to content every single day. I think it's been really good.
It's been excellent. I've enjoyed all, because it offered an opportunity for everybody to kind of collaborate and have a conversation together. And I mean, a lot of the comments and responses we've been seeing have been either causing us to say, wow, man, I forgot about that. Wow, that's a good comment. Or, you know, it helps us think about Bone as well as we're helping you guys think about Bone. So it's a nice collaborative, making this whole thing a community.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying with the questions of the day?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Questions of the day, Mo Monday. Yeah. Basically, with the questions of the day, it offers interaction.
Yeah. The questions of the day have been huge. We've been trying to do those. I really enjoy a lot of the responses. A lot of the responses, it's just like, you know, some of them are exactly what I expect them to be, which is cool. I think me and John pick a lot of shit that you expect. And then some of the answers are, dude, some of them I'm just like, fucking right. I forgot all about that. Like, sometimes I read something that you guys put in there and I'm like, yes, that's such a good answer. Like, I wish I would have thought of that. So there's been some good ones. We started it out. What did we start it out with? What is your favorite Bone album? Was the first question of the day. And we had a lot of Eternals in there, a lot of Art of War. So I do see, like, you know, there's a couple though that aren't Eternal and Art of War.
And those are the more interesting. I mean, not that obviously Eternal and Art of War are probably the most popular answers, but it's those ones that stray from it where you're like, huh, and the ones that offered reasoning for it, that's even cooler. Because it's always cool to have a position and then backing it up with reasons. So
I liked
it's always cool hearing the debate.
Chris Jordan. Chris Jordan said strength and loyalty due to the lyrical comeback that showed Bone could still kill any track featuring some of the best musicians in the industry. Hashtag no competition. Good fucking answer. I like that. I think that
Yep.
for that time frame. I mean, you figure Bone was well into their career, and that is true. Again, it's what's your favorite. So there's no wrong answer here, right? The question wasn't what's the best. It said what's your favorite. So I think that's what makes this a special question.
And it's the comeback album of rap, right? I mean, like Aerosmith had some comeback albums in rock, and Strength and Loyalty, and I made that case on the most underrated Bone album for Strength and Loyalty. So I definitely agree with it.
Yeah.
And I definitely enjoyed it. I mean, I still like Eternal the best, but Strength and Loyalty was definitely a hot album.
I can't find somebody. I wish I could find it because I want to shout them out. Somebody said Resurrection, and I thought that was a real interesting answer. Somebody said Resurrection, and I thought that was an interesting answer because I just don't see that being someone's favorite. But again, though, I mean, there's no wrong. It's what you associate with that album. I also think about the fact that,
but when I saw that one about Resurrection, it took me back to the UBB, which was BTH board prior to it being called BTH board. Yeah. And there was a period there around the time Resurrection came out that like this whole new movement of Bone fans was, they were all saying BTH Resurrection like blows out the previous three albums. And I was just like, where are these guys coming from? Because I didn't agree with it, but they swore by BTH Resurrection and Fleshbone.
Yeah. Hey, I think that
they had they worshipped like every track on that Resurrection album. There was like websites made with the names of the tracks on the album. So it was astonishing me to see the evolution on how Resurrection became the flagship for a period of time.
I mean, Resurrection's dope. I don't have a problem with Resurrection. In fact, like I think I've told you this, but Sam Goody had the big Resurrection display, and it's so unfortunate because I ended up getting that. I fucking called Sam Goody every day. If you guys are younger and you don't know what Sam Goody is, it's a music store that doesn't exist anymore. And I went in, I got my copy of Resurrection, and they had this giant display. It was a big box, and on one side it was the Resurrection cover, and on the other side it was like, I think like the Resurrection logo, maybe like that weird sun thing that they were using at that time, and then it had a big 3D pop-up coming out of it of Bone, and I ended up getting that fucking thing, and I love the Resurrection album. I just, man, it's crazy that it's somebody's favorite.
Did you have that in your room? Like,
yeah, I had that.
Do you have any pictures of that? 'Cause
I wish I did.
Do you have any video
bro.
or pictures of it?
I wish I did. It was we had a house fire and we ended up losing it. And what's crazy is I kept all my Bone CDs in it, right? Like I had this big thing that took up all this room, but I had all these Bone CDs, so I kept all the Bone CDs in it. And what's wild is I got the Bone CDs when I moved out of my mom's house. I took my Bone CDs, but that big pop-up was a big thing, so I didn't end up taking that. I fucking wish I would have. But I left that and like some furniture and stuff at my mom's, and she ended up having a house fire and we lost it. But it was dope as fuck, man. It was a great collector's piece. I'm always sad that I lost it because it was so dope. And what was doper was I tracked that fucking thing down. And Sam Goody knew if there was some Bone Thug shit, they're like, that kid's gonna be in here to get that shit. They knew it, bro. I was coming.
There was this big Busy Bone Heavens movie cardboard cutout at Blockbuster Music when Smokey used to work there.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if we got it or not. I know he got me the missing BB Gambini poster. I don't know if you've seen it in any of my videos, but I don't even know who I gave it to. Did I send that to you? because I don't know who has my BB Gambini poster at this point because I don't have it.
No, I don't think so.
But there was this big, giant, busy cardboard cutout. It was life size. And I think it was in Smokey's room, but I can't remember for sure. Like, that whole Fusion Fortress era is a blur, but
Yeah.
it was there in the store. And I remember saying, yo, we got to get that. I think maybe we didn't have a vehicle big enough to, like, bring it home. I don't know. But it was there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We either got it or we didn't. I can't remember.
Yeah, so
He was-
we did that. That was the first question of the day. We did the favorite album. We did favorite solo album. Me and John both picked Thug Mentality. One of the immediate things that was pointed out, and which I thought was awesome, was, yo, what about Flesh and Bone Thugs? Like, Flesh and Bone held it down. And yes, I immediately want to respond to everybody and say, yes, I'm still going with Thug Mentality, but I just want you to know how much I did love the Thugs album. I give Flesh and Bone a lot of respect. He broke the ground as the Bone solo. He was the Bone solo before it was okay, and yes, I just want to agree with everyone there. I still think Thug Mentality is just like the mecca for a fucking the solo. I don't think any of them have made a solo better than that one, because it was just so complete for 2 discs. You know what I mean? Like, too good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and the Fleshbone comment, it sparked like at least 3 conversations we've had.
Yeah.
Just philosophizing about that THUGS album.
yeah,
And you had a butt. You were going to throw a button there on that Flesh.
yeah. No, I was just gonna say, but I mean, it is a really good, like, especially. I'm not even gonna say like for Flesh. It's really good. I think that it's a great. It's in their top solos, no doubt. Flesh kills it. That music was great. He really, like, it was the Bone style, but it was like the Flesh and Bone style. I don't know. I love the Thugs album though. So anybody that thought we were sleeping on Thugs, just know that we both really love that album. I like all the Flesh and Bone albums.
Man, and did you know, like, do you remember when that album came out? I saw that it was announced, but I just didn't believe it. And then it just dropped out of nowhere. And I got it, and I was like, wow, okay, he's in outer space. And there was like a lot of tracks on it. And it came out around the time I think Mo Thug's Family Scriptures came out. So there was just a lot of Bone material to enjoy at that period of time. And
Yeah.
it was certainly a cool album. And we were talking about, did that Flesh and Bone album reach Def Jam fans?
Yeah.
Like, just Def Jam fans that didn't know about Bone Thugs and Harmony somehow, and they were just Def Jam fanatics.
Yeah, well,
and since the album came out on Def Jam,
and a thing that happened back then was that the labels sent singles to a lot of DJs. A lot of the fans were getting material as well. So if you were really into Def Jam, you could write into Def Jam, and they would send you samplers and shit like that in the mail. So I always wonder, I'm like, was there somebody that wasn't really into, like, Bone Thugs? Like, they didn't get into Thuggish Ruggish Bone and shit like that. But they got that Def Jam sampler, and because they were into Eric Sermon and all that shit, and because Flesh and Bone was on Def Jam, did anybody get that sampler and just hear that, like, one Flesh and Bone song and just were like, yo, I don't know about Bone, but I love that Flesh and Bone guy. Like, he's straight.
and imagine the hardcore Run DMC fans, right? They're hearing Reverend Run with
Right.
Fleshbone,
Yeah.
and Run's rapping fast, and it's like, man, where did this come from? That I mean, I was a Run DMC fan, but I think there was something that happened along the way. Like, they made the back Down with the King album and had like Onyx on it on Ooh, What You Gonna Do, and it did a track with Pete Rock and CL Smooth. So by the time Run was doing the thing with Flesh, I kind of saw it coming, but I paid a lot of attention to them. And the casual Run DMC fan, imagine experiencing World So Cruel for the first time and saying, is this the same Run from It's Tricky and You Be Illin'? So we'll never know, but I'm sure there was some Run DMC fans thrown off by that track.
I gotta say too, besides Easy, Flesh was the first one to land like big features. I mean, they all landed easy, but like the Rev Run feature that came before anything. That came before Pac, before Big. He landed that,
Yeah, and Montel Jordan.
yeah, I was gonna say he had Fat Joe and Big Pun on there. BG Knockout was on there.
Yep.
So I mean, that's
BG Knockout makes sense. Well, actually, even BG Knockout's a little different because it was a Def Jam release
right.
with the Ruthless Records artist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
because like this is kind of like not bone, but it always kind of threw me off that Run DMC was not on Def Jam and Russell Simmons was Run's brother. Yeah, to this day I'm like, what happened there? But yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's how Run got on the Flesh. It's just so weird that Run was on the first single. You know, and that's what made the album work for me though, because I was a longtime Run DMC fan, and when I saw Flesh's first single was World So Cruel with Run, I was like, oh man. Just like you were saying, like look at the star power that Fleshbone gets.
Yeah, I think it made it really accessible. If you think about that time period, I mean, you know, those people I named off now, you know, you're just like, wow, that's old school. But I mean, in '96, I mean, Pun and Fat Joe, that was a good look. BG Knockout was kind of at that, like, you know, I mean, you can't say. I think he was like at that like respected OG level at that point. Reverend Run was like, you know, super, you know, legendary, I think. And the Rev song made it really accessible to Def Jam fans. Like, right? I mean, you can't. Rev Run's not just jumping on any bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly.
That was a big stamp. Thugs was dope. Thugs was dope. I saw a lot of Heaven's Movie in there. Heaven's Movie was cool, but Heaven's Movie, like we said, was just like incomplete. It wasn't that what was complete wasn't dope. Some of those songs are the greatest fucking Bone songs ever made. But when you look at the overall, because it didn't get to be completed, you can't say it's.
Well, watch this. Let me ask you this: because you know, Thug Mentality was a double album. If Heaven's Movie was a double album and included the tracks that we know as Hell's Movie,
yeah.
So Heaven's Movie plus Hell's Movie together, would you still have Thug Mentality over Heaven/Hell's Movie?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's I mean, it's an unfair question because obviously we know some of those are just like features and shit like that. But if we're just playing the game just to play the game, that's a pretty good couple of discs right
there. Yeah, I mean, we propose the question to everybody. I mean, obviously this is a what if scenario, but if Busy had a double album based on the material that was available at the time period, and we'll also add this in. Those snippet tracks, if those were complete songs and it was a double album, Heaven and Hell, would that be better than Thug Mentality 99? Or does Thug Mentality 99 still reign supreme? And obviously those who selected Fleshbone, this doesn't even apply to you. So
yeah.
But for those that chose Thug Mentality 99 over Heaven's Movie, you know, I wonder, you know. I still go with Thug Mentality 99, but I think... See, I don't know, because Heaven's Movie came out first, and had it had that complete feel to it, and also the caveat is the Hell's Movie tracks would have been engineered to sound, you know, professional. That because right. Some of them don't sound like, you know, well like mastered. But
yeah, I don't know. Some of them are really bootleg. I think that's a good question. So, but you know, there was some real. There's some real opinions in there. That's what I like about this. I asked everybody's favorite Bone song. That was a packed one. I mean, you know, Mo Murda was in there. Shoot 'Em Up was in there. And then shit that like Bobby Hernandez said, So Rough, So Tough by Crazy Bone. So there's unexpected stuff in there. 1985 Gemini, our last month's giveaway winner. She said Me Killer, Days of Our Lives intro, and Let the Law End are top 3. So
Me Killer, that yeah. When I saw Me Killer, I was like, wow, how about that one? Yeah. Although at the time period, I remember there was a lot of people that liked Mr. Ouija 2 and Me Killa more than some of the tracks on the album.
I,
I think those the same people that probably thought Resurrection was the flagship.
I like that a lot of people pick Days of Our Lives. I think that's a great song. I don't get like a lot of people are high on the video, and I'm like, the video's not that great to me. Like it's cool. Like I don't think it's not like a cool video, but I'm like, bro, it's not that great of a video.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, at the time you wanted all bone. Plus, I don't. Busy wasn't in the video. Like, I think if Busy was in the video, and it was the full team, less movie, more them. I
Right.
think.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it was for a soundtrack, so anytime they do like a soundtrack thing, they want to put a lot of the movie. You know what I mean? Like the Bone, like the scenery that Bone is in is great. It's just that's all it is. You know, and those are my favorite parts. Obviously, I don't give a fuck about the set it off footage, but the song itself, one of Bone's best songs, fucking ever.
When that came out, I remember that came out the same week. I mean, I don't know if it's the same week, but when I heard it, 'cause this is back when the radio kind of still dictated music, was Hey by Crucial Conflict came out. No, it wasn't Hey. But yeah, Hey by Crucial Conflict came out, and then Po Pimp by Do or Die, and Days of Our Lives by Bone. And when I first heard Days of Our Lives by Bone, I was like, wait, this is Bone, but where did this song come from? Because it felt like Eternal was still like having its run.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was just really thrown off that this song just kind of came out of nowhere. And I mean, I was happy to get another Bone track, but it was just like, phew, bam, out of nowhere. And I'm getting these other guys, Crucial Conflict and Do or Die, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot to listen to right now. People are starting to catch up to Bone and they're trying out the style. So it was like the beginning of the clone era.
The clones. Robbie C said he couldn't answer his favorite. I can't answer that one, but I do remember in that question we also said, "Can you name the song that blew you away?" He said "Thug Love" was the song that blew him away, and I remember I said "Handle the Vibe." Shut up, Kevin Starks. He said I actually hated "Handle the Vibe," and hey, wow. I good man. I'm glad that I can't see that at all. Like that just doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all. But like, I don't like some shit that some people do. I like that everybody's putting out there what they do like, what they don't like. This is really helping build the community up again. So everybody's answers were good. Handle the Vibe is amazing. So
and as much as I like Handle the Vibe, the one thing that bothered me about it was that I was a big Love's Gonna Get You fan by Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One. And I mean, they sampled the beat on that song, but I had heard Love's Gonna Get You so many times that hearing it again, like I was kind of sick of Boogie Down Productions. And so hearing the beat again on Handle the Vibe, I was like, let me just focus on the melody and the rhyming, and just kind of like put the beat out of my head. Cause I really, I really love the song. It was just like, at the time I didn't like all the sampling that Puff Daddy was doing, where they'd borrow songs and nobody knew the origins. I wasn't so mad at the artist. I was more mad at the people listening to the music not having a quality music history and knowing the origins of some of the samples. Because there's a lot of people that thought that the song Puffy did for Biggie, they thought like that was an original song by Puffy.
Yeah.
And had no idea where it came from.
Yeah, I don't think Puffy made an original song at all.
And I mean, and it's nothing against Puffy. I was more like saying, hey, you guys don't know where this is from? And then for rap fans to not know Boogie Down Productions, it was like, how do you not know? But that's just me. I'm a maniacal, crazy hip hop fan.
Well, we did a bunch of them. We did the Bone video as well. I don't know if you checked out some of those answers. Some good ones in there. I think I picked like Change the World. What did you pick? First of the Month. And
yeah,
there's some good answers out there too.
A lot of people. I saw a lot of Change the Worlds in there, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, let me tell you. Somebody said 7 Turok 7 said Thugs Cry. And I was like, hell yeah, because it's so crazy. As soon as me and John finished the recording, we were just sitting there having our private wrap-up, and I was like, oh, we didn't even talk about Thugs Cry. Like, wow, Thugs Cry, like, So-
That was just a badass video. I mean, it was just
Jesus.
the first time I saw that, I was like, oh, because people, and it's crazy. Like, I used to always push Bone on everybody, and they were like, nah, I don't do Bone. I do, they rap too fast for me. I like that the East Coast hip hop, and I'm like, once I saw Thugs Cry, I was like, all right, man, you guys got to give it up for Busy Bone. And they're like, I'm like, come on, man, this is like the illest video you ever seen. Come
Yeah.
on, man, and
I
they just like, I couldn't do it to the East Coast fans. They just didn't want it.
I mean, I think of the quality. Like, there's some newer. You've seen like Crazy Bone. I think I think somebody on the Life has a camera and they've just shot a lot of videos at like the Life headquarters or whatever. So and that's like fine now. Like in 2018, the quality of video has changed so much, compared to like
Yeah.
the way it used to be. I mean, back when Hype Williams was like banging out all these rap videos, they had to all be top level. And I think of some of the old Bone videos, and it's like these are fucking phenomenal. Thugs Cry, first of all, the jail scene is like unreal. And I remember the first time I saw the jail scene, and I was like, oh my god, like I was like the way I felt about like Handle the Vibe, I was like, oh my god. And then when I saw Bone Thugs doing the cameos, bro, I fucking freaked out. I freaked out.
Yeah, and speaking of Hype Williams, I wonder if I always looked for the other guy, right? Hype Williams was the guy that everybody knew was awesome, but there was another video director producer out there. His name was Michael Martin,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know if he did. Yeah, he did a lot of the No Limit music videos, like make them say because I mean, say what you want about the song, but visually that video was spectacular. And I wonder if he ever directed a Bone video, because like I don't know if he did Change the World or not, but that video had it kind of looked like something he would have done. I'm surprised I don't know who did the Change the World music video,
Change the World.
but Michael Martin was the number two.
Change the World is really good. I saw some people put If I Could Teach the World. Robbie C put If I Could Teach the World and Buddha Love Is. Justin Rodriguez put If I Could Teach the World in First of the Month. I've never thought Buddha Love Is was that good of a fucking music video. Like it's cool, but it's like it's the quintessential like underground, B-side video. You know what I mean? It's like it's not a bad video, but I'm like, when I think of my favorite, I'm like, that's just like a whatever. I think they didn't even pump that out, I don't think, with intent for it to like go on TV or any shit like that.
Well, and I think that I didn't see that video until the collection came out. That was on the collection, right?
Yeah.
And like the only way to get it was you had to send away for it. And that's the thing. I never even saw. Had I seen that contest or that sweepstakes or that giveaway, I would have submitted it. I just never saw it.
Yeah.
And that brings me to a quick question though. And I've been struggling thinking about this on my walks the past 2 weeks. Ever since we brought up Thug TV, the Mo Thugs VHS tape, I've been trying to remember. I remember I got it. There was a giveaway. It was like, if you sign up here, if you submit, we'll give you a free Thug TV VHS tape. And I was like, really? And I was like, man, if they put me on their mailing list, I won't mind getting spam from Bone, right? And I sent away for it. I never thought I'd get it. And then one day it just showed up in my mailbox, and I was like, this can't even be true. I can't believe they just sent me a VHS tape. They sent a VHS tape, and it had all the music videos, and it was so hard to get good quality music videos like from the studio, right? Because most of the time we're recording television with a VCR.
Yeah.
And to get like a pure from the studio recorded, pressed, properly done VHS tape in high quality of the time period was like, this is before the collection came out on VHS, and then Thug TV came out on VHS.
Yeah.
But I don't remember where that giveaway came from. Was it from The Art of War? Was it from a Poetic Hustlers? Like, where do you remember? By the way, did you have Thug TV?
I had Thug TV. I had Thug TV, but I'm pretty sure I just went and I purchased Thug TV at like the same goodie.
Oh, okay. So they sold in the stores.
Yeah, because I
I
can't remember that I did any. I mean, maybe I did, like, because I definitely owned it. I had that in the collection, and I remember when the collection 2 came out, VHSs were on their way out, but you could get it in either. You could get it in VHS or DVD by the collection volume 2. But when Thug TV and Collection Volume 1 came out, there was no DVDs.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I remember getting, and I remember the collection coming out. That came out of nowhere as well. And I remember it was a CD and a VHS tape, and I thought, how is this possible? My favorite
the
rap group.
packaging, wasn't the packaging good? Like the presentation of that shit
It was so good.
Yeah.
In fact, it would be great if we get the guy that did the packaging on the show, just to tell him, man, you did such a good job.
Well,
And
we
even
just
the
had
color
Julio.
scheme, like-
Julio did all that shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all
right.
him.
Well, man, we should have thanked him when he was on. I didn't even realize he did the. Well, yeah. When we were talking about it, I was just thinking of the CD. I wasn't thinking of the whole box set.
Oh yeah.
And had I thought of that, man, I would have definitely been asking him about that. But yeah, the packaging. What was so cool about it was they modified like the color scheme, and it worked. There was like happy clouds.
Right.
And,
Well, the fire, it was a really good picture too. That was a dope picture of Bone, I thought. And as Bone, I'll say even as rap fans, that was the first time I think I'd seen like a package like that. That was more of like a, Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses, Rolling Stones. They had packages like that. You didn't see a lot of like
The box set.
Yeah, you didn't see hip hop shit like that really. Like I don't even remember like Tupac or any shit like that being like that.
There was well, like, so the box set was out. There was like a Led Zeppelin box set, and everybody had that, and there was a couple other, like I think Kiss had a box set, and then Def Jam came out with a box set. I bet you it's like a collector's item on eBay now. So I think Def Jam had the first like box set of like Def Jam's greatest hits from 84 to 94.
And it was.
And I remember wanting to get it just to get it because of the packaging and just because it was like the first box set of rap. I mean, this is of my recollection.
But was
there
it
might have
just
been
music?
another box set.
Was it just music though?
Yep, good point. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't remember anybody having like
yeah.
the CD, VHS combo like that. Like I think that Bone. Maybe I'm wrong. If somebody can think of a CD VHS combo in hip hop that came out before Bones, definitely drop that in the comments because I remember seeing that and I was just like, oh my fucking god, like holy shit, is this not the coolest shit you've ever seen? Like I got this whole CD to listen to and there's a whole VHS. And do you remember the first time you popped it in, you were like, bro, I got all these videos at my fingertips?
Not only that, the documentary was phenomenal,
Oh,
and that came out of that just came out of nowhere. And man, the first time you saw Body Rot, the performance of Body Rot, with that big skull with the joint in its mouth, and Busy's like the body language that Busy had on that performance was just so raw. I mean, I think I watched it like on repeat, just kept rewinding Busy Bones part. I'm like, oh my god, this is everything right here. And that's probably my favorite piece of Bone video. Period, is Busy Bones' performance on a Body Rot.
Yeah.
I heard it. I murdered.
Oh yeah, killed it.
That. I mean, when I brought that up, does that strike in your mind? Like, do you vividly remember like that first time you seen that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the documentary blew my mind. Again, there was no YouTube. There's no shit like that. We didn't have documentaries at our fingertips. That was probably the first Bone documentary. A lot of that footage got reused a lot later on, but that was our first time seeing it. Seeing the live Art of War tour shit was incredible. I can't forget it. I even remember I remember thinking back then that it was weird that they were all wearing the camouflage, and I think Busy's wearing like blue. He has like a blue flannel shirt on and like a white wife beater under it. Yeah, and I was like, why the fuck doesn't he have camouflage on? But yeah, no, it was amazing. And then when they followed it up with Thug TV, like that was amazing too because we knew about Mo Thugs, but we didn't know like that. And the VHS was like everything you fucking wanted. Like, let me tell you about all the Mo Thugs together. Oh, okay, and we got Too True. They got videos. We got Poetic Hustlers. Let me tell you about them. They got videos. They set that up, and John and I independently have put out films, books, things like that. And I'll say that we learned how to put help them out because they did that so well. Like showing the Mo Thugs and laying that the flow of that Thug TV out, it was phenomenal. It was so good.
No, yeah, and Trey was on it too, and I never had seen the Trey music video.
Yeah.
And just to see Crazy's performance on that, and like that hat and that chair that he was in, and so those things on the Thug TV was the greatest bonus out of nowhere, unexpected thing I ever got. When that came, I was like, I can't believe that all these music videos are on here. And the thing is, I haven't. I remember the last time I saw it. I was in Smokey's room in Tampa. We were watching it, and I haven't seen it since. And I remember there was like interviews after each video with each of the artists.
Right.
I think because I remember Soulja Boy being on it, and I want to see it again. I bet you somebody's uploaded it to YouTube just to re-experience Thug TV. And here's some funny stuff about that. I had ripped it from like I had a video card before people even knew what a video card was, and I figured out how to capture VHS tapes into the computer. And I don't remember if it was before or right when DVDs came out, but you couldn't, like, to have a DVD burner, nobody had those except like studios, right?
Yeah,
but
right.
There was a way to burn a VCD. It was called a video CD with a CD burner, and it converted your basically whatever movie you had into 700 megabits onto like a single disc, and then you could put it. I guess a DVD player must have existed already. That was like the only way you could do DVDs before DVD-Rs came out was VCD. And I remember I used to burn things to VCD to watch it in my DVD player. And so I used to watch Thug TV on VCD. And then going back to what you were saying about, we were talking about the first box set. Well, yeah, the first combo of a VHS tape and a CD, that I do remember that as the first, but I'm going to take you back on this one. Do you remember enhanced CDs?
Yeah.
Like Exhibit, The Speed of Life was an enhanced CD.
Yeah.
The Mobb Deep, like that most famous Mobb Deep album.
You could put them in like in the
Enhanced.
computer, and they had like all the extra options in the videos, and it usually had like just like a cool you'd open it up and yeah, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and I think Wu-Tang Forever might have been an enhanced CD as well. I think like everybody that came out on Loud Records, or was Wu-Tang on Loud? Who? I think Loud Record. Yeah, it was Loud. One of those record labels. It was like for a year straight, everything they put out was an enhanced CD. But the problem was a lot of people didn't know how to use computers yet, right? So
yeah, that shit
they
was
put
way
it in,
ahead.
and if the auto, and watch this, if autoplay wasn't like if people had Windows 95, which I can't remember if that came with a CD. Yeah, that came with a CD drive, but it was like you either had to have Windows 98 to have the autoplay feature, because I think autoplay, when you pop a disc in where it would just autoplay it, I don't think that was there, and people didn't know that you had to double click my computer and then double click the DVD drive to get it to play. It's such a commonplace thing now, but when we were all learning computers for the first time, the enhanced CDs were just too ahead of their time for public consumption.
No,
it's just wild to think how things have changed.
I remember it being like that, like and I remember like, sometimes you'd have to like open it up and like go to explore and launch it yourself, and I remember being really kind of ahead of a lot of people on computers and thinking, nobody's gonna fucking do this. Like nobody's gonna fucking know to do this, which is too bad because the enhanced CDs are great, and then by the time I guess that they'd be common, or they launched themselves or whatever, the internet had blown up so much that it was like big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Like you can get all this shit just on their website, at that point. But like those were kind of like before like websites were really blown up and, everything was at our fingertips. Enhanced CDs were dope.
Well, music videos were very important up until YouTube came out, right? And so music video albums like the Collection, even the Collection 2, that came out probably in like 2001. I remember I got it 2001. I was in college. I was a senior, and I got it, and I think it was the first DVD I ever owned was Up in Smoke Tour by Dr. Dre. And
that's a good
and then I got the that's probably like the best hip hop concert, rap concert ever filmed. And it was the first time I ever saw rap in HD. Well, actually it wasn't even HD, but what is DVD considered? At the time, it was considered high definition.
Yeah, HD.
It's not considered high definition now.
Collection 2 came out in 2000, by the way.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and seeing both the Up in Smoke tour and at the time what was considered high definition, I just remember seeing Ice Cube come down in that capsule, and I was like, oh my goodness!
Yeah.
And you could see like all the confetti coming down, and then getting the collection and being able to fast forward straight to Change the World. And let me ask you this. I was the kind of person that like forced stuff on people that they probably didn't want to consume. And, so I'm always pushing Bone videos, or I was always trying to influence the television to put Bone on. And I was so heated because it felt like Change the World had such a good budget for it, good direction. It was a solid music video. And I think I saw it on TV once. Did you ever see Change the World on TV?
Yeah, I saw it on TV, but I do feel you had to go out of your way. Like, it felt like it played on, like, the weird segments, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't in prime time, which was strange because I remember seeing the Resurrection video on TV.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that was on repeat all the time.
Right. Yeah. And in that video, like, I never felt like that video was that great. It's just okay to me. I think a lot of people think it's great because you remember what that moment was, for them to be kind of returning and saying that they didn't break up and all this shit. When you think about that video, like, that video itself wasn't that great. It makes me think of, like, Power Rangers.
I wonder if like classical music people identified with that composer. Do you remember that composer that was like, throwing his head around at the beginning because it was like an orchestra with the song.
Yeah.
And like every time I'd see that, I'm like, I wonder if this impacts people that have a knowledge of orchestras and bands and that kind of music. If like how they experience seeing that.
That video was just weird. You didn't think like they all had like these different vehicles, and it felt like very like Wishbone on the motorcycle and fucking. It's just like all the license plates that said like Seventh Sign and shit. It was just I don't know. It was just all right. I loved at the end when they were all together. But I just
on stage. I thought that was kind of neat though. Like the fact that they put those license plates in, that helped establish the brands. So I thought that was kind of cool.
No, it's not that I didn't think it was cool. It was just like I don't know. It was just something about like the way it made me think of like Wishbone was all in like the yellow, and they had Busy Bone in white, and his car was white, and I think like Lazy Bone's like blue or something like that, and it was just like Power Rangers.
Was that the first time Lazy Bone said, "Yeah, what's happening? Are you Lazy Bone? Yeah, what's happening?"
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And I think I said that.
They talk to people.
There was like little acting scenes.
Yeah. It's coming.
And I like
just like, what's up with that new Bone CD? And Crazy Bone's like, it's coming.
Let's go. And some like kid asked about Wishbone. He's like, yeah, man, it's coming real soon. And I liked the campiness of that. Like for me, but then again, at the same time, I'm trying to like get my hardcore rap fans to get back into Bone, because like hardcore rap, they were down with Bone for Creeping on the Come Up and Eternal, and then like it's somewhere near the end of Eternal, it's like all these people just said, "No, we're not with Bone anymore." I'm like, why? They're better than ever, and it's like people just moved on for a period, and then I kept trying to get them to come back, and that didn't really help out much. But
the video made me feel the same way the cover made me feel. The cover of the album.
How was that?
I just like it was just different. You know what I mean? Like the cover didn't feel like a Bone album. The first video didn't really feel like a Bone video. I mean, it does now, obviously, like looking back. But I remember at the time thinking, like, wow, this is really fucking different, bro. Like this is some different Bone shit.
Well, it was cool to see. I think that was the first time they showed Crazy Bone in the studio, right? Like he raps his verse in the studio, and y'all thought we fell off, Bone Thugs and Harmony Resurrection, and you got to see like just Crazy get down on the mic in the studio. I can't recall if that had been done in the video up until that point.
And
like that that was important to me to see that at the time. And like that's one of that's probably the thing I remember most of that song is, well, that and Busy Bone like sitting down to read the newspaper and the newspaper seemed CGI.
Yeah.
But seeing Crazy, get down in the studio there, I was like, oh man, look at Crazy go, man.
They did a lot of
that part
music
is, like,
videos
cool.
for that album. Like they were coming back hard. It's got it's got Can't Give It Up on it, which is like one of my favorite Bone videos, and it's such a simple ass video. Like it shouldn't be one of my favorites. But I love that video. I love that song, and it's got the weed song on it too. Like they did a bunch of videos for it.
Yep. Yeah, and that felt like a super bonus because, certainly during that time period, that wouldn't have shown on TV.
Right.
And
I think that went on the collection. That was on the collection too. That was like the Buddha Lovers of collection 2, I think.
Right. And getting both of those, I was happy about. Like the Buddha Lovers, it felt like the audio quality and the video quality kind of was a notch down, but the weed song seemed like super high quality because they had those color bars at the top.
Yeah,
I think it was like white
and they
on the
were
top
white.
and bottom.
Yeah, it really popped. Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice video. It was too bad once again, no Busy Bone, bro.
Yeah, and we were talking about Michael Martin earlier. I just looked it up, and it says Bone Thugs and Harmony: The Crossroads. So Michael Martin was the director of The Crossroads. That is bananas. Michael Martin is the director of The Crossroads. Wow. Okay. So who directed that? Did you know that? Because that's news to me.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
But I think that's what put him on the map to me, though. I think I knew he did The Crossroads, but there was a behind the scenes on how they did make him say And when I saw that, and I saw that Master P would hire somebody that looked like Michael Martin, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And
I'm the worst at that.
Great.
Like, the video directors, like, I'm the fucking worst at that. I don't remember any of them ever.
Yeah,
I'm just not good at that shit. I'm not always good at like.
I was going to school for video production, so like, I was looking at these guys saying, all right, this is who I'm going to be someday. Maybe it didn't work out that way, but so those guys mattered to me.
He did the I Got the Hookup movie, which I love. I fucking loved that movie too, bro.
It's so hilarious that Michael Martin and No Limit were getting down. I mean, they're so, like, visually, they're so opposite looking. And just to think that Michael Martin had in his mind the creativity to create such visual masterpieces, like make him say, and I Got the Hookup. I Got the Hookup was a cool film. Like, for comedy, it was pretty cool for, like, unknown Master P film.
Yeah, it's got a Bone song on it, so I got the hookup, hook it up. I got the hookup, hook it up.
And he did the Game of Life.
Bro, Bone's been cool with everyone.
Right?
You fucking real. Yeah. Bone has been cool with fucking everyone. They got 2 songs with Master P. I mean, I know Master P's still alive, but that's dope as fuck. Look at all the songs. Like, they always talk about, like, of course, Easy, Easy, Big, and Pac, and then they'll tell you, Pun, because they got a couple. Crazy Bones got a pun song, Flesh and Bones got a pun song, but it's like, you look, Busy's got songs with Puffy.
Yeah,
they got songs with fucking. I mean, they got songs with everyone.
The
bro.
Brat.
Yeah,
people forgot about the Brat and JD.
Yeah.
They did like multiple collabos. There was We Could All Get High. And then there was
I love those.
There was another one,
remix too, and the Brat was on the
Yeah.
I Still Believe shit too.
Yep. Well, but I think Crazy was on 2 of her albums, right? I think he was on 2 of them, or they did 2 tracks and I Still Believe. I'm pretty sure they did at least 3 together.
Pro shit, I would not be surprised. They've done shit with everyone. They've done so many songs that. There's a plethora of unreleased songs. We asked people what their favorite unreleased song was, and bro, people gave answers that I'm like, I wish I would have thought of that when we were picking this. Like sometimes you guys, we do the question of the day, and me and John will do a handful of questions of the day all at one time. So we don't sit there and pre-prepare for every question. So sometimes we launch questions at each other and it's like, wow, I really got to think about this. And the unreleased one was definitely one that I was like, wow, bro. There's some really good answers out there. The first one that came up, and I don't know if you remember it, but Frank said whatever or whatever, and it was crazy and busy, and I remember that song so dope, bro.
Yeah.
Some other people said some shit that, I don't know if this is like the fine line of what is unreleased and what isn't. Somebody said the Get Together with Black Hole of Watts. That was on Black Hole of Watts' album, I'm pretty sure, so that's released. Strictly For My Grind, I'm pretty sure that was released on whoever the,
Yes.
But
Space Hog, Boss
right.
Hog or something.
But again, though, it's like, who the fuck was that? How many copies was it on? Could you really even get it? So does that technically even count as released? Somebody, Robbie C said "Flesh of My Flesh" with DMX. And he asked, was that unreleased? It was dope. The reason why I don't count that one is it didn't have the DMX verse. I don't think it had a chorus. I think DMX was maybe supposed to do the chorus. Do you remember that one? It had like DMX growling and shit in the background.
There was a song called "Flesh of My Flesh" with DMX.
We just guessed that it's called "Flesh of My Flesh" based on, some of the lyrics, and it's a beat. And you hear DMX built into the beat, and there's an opening for what we assume is DMX, but it's only Bones verses. It's pretty fucking old.
Man, I'm going to look that up. I know I must have heard it at the time period.
Yeah.
Because, but I haven't heard it since it probably got released. You know what I'm saying? Leaked.
Yeah.
Since it got leaked. I wrote that down. I'm looking that up after the show. I'm gonna be like, man, how did I miss this one?
Yeah.
But thinking about the criteria, it's trying to think back on what came out, what didn't, and then the best one I saw where I was like, man, I can't believe I forgot this was Into the Future.
Yes, Jesus. Who said that? Whoever said Into the Future, I gotta go see who did that because they deserve that. That was a great answer. Into the Future was beyond good. Did anybody ever get an answer? It must have been like a sampling thing, like even past it be a sampling. I remember like you just couldn't have that on the internet for a while. Like there was some kind of like agreement that all the Bone fans were keeping it off the internet because somebody didn't want it on here, and it was really hard to get for a while.
I remember there was like a website of the guy that had produced the song, and he had an explanation of what the reason was, but I don't remember the details, so I don't want to say it, but he had an explanation of what had happened from his perspective. And
that's why I wasn't up.
So yeah.
If anybody remembers why, put that in the comments. I would love to, so many years you forget all these little things like that. That's the shit that I think is interesting. But that was a great track.
And I felt like Into the Future like united people for whatever reason. It felt like when it came out, it just felt like Bone really was bringing us into the future. Like it felt true. Like it didn't feel like they were just hypothetically speaking. It felt real, and it kind of connected everybody for a minute there. And I think everybody was just happy Bone was back again. Someone
said that they always liked Coming Home, the TQ version. I know you're a big fan of the TQ version.
Oh yeah, man, that TQ version, the way that song sounded, I was like, oh man, if they make a whole album like this, man. And I played it to a lot of people that had, we were talking about those Bone fans that thought Bone began and ended with the Crossroads. Right. And I played that to them, and they're like, oh man, these guys came back. And I'm like, man, they got 20 years of albums, 192 plus. They're like, well, I missed all that, but this is a really good, like the way the TQ version, I remember I bought a sound bar. Like I had heard the song. I was like, oh man, I need to hear this. So I went out and bought like one of those $300 sound bars just to hear it on full blast. And at first I was like, oh man, why'd they change it? I understood why they had to. And now I'm cool with the new version, but I really wanted that original version with TQ. Because I love TQ. Everything TQ, I love TQ.
Frank Finesse, he said, Murder Me, Busy Bones Murder Me. I thought that was a great pick.
Yep.
Frank216 said the strength and loyalty cuts were dope, which they were. A lot of those strength and loyalty cuts that included Into the Future.
Yep.
They were dope.
Oh, Into the Future was from Strength and Loyalty era.
Yeah.
I always felt like that was from Thug World, the World's Enemy.
No, that no fucking way. No, that's strength and loyalty.
Yeah, because Flesh isn't Flesh the first rapper on Into the Future.
Yeah, but no, that's not unified. No fucking way. It's 10. No way.
It is because I remember hearing Into the Future along with The Game Ain't Ready, both of which were quasi unreleased, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, they got a new sound. I can't wait for the album.
No,
and then neither track were on the album.
Somebody right here saying this is a cut from Strength and Loyalty.
Really?
I think that there was that might have been a problem with it too. Maybe Flesh and Bone being on it was an issue at that time.
How could Flesh have been on it?
I think it was older,
not available.
I think it was an older thing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it had to have been because I know it wasn't for Unified because it was around way before then.
I don't know. My memory is kind of blended. You might be right, but I feel like it came out after I left South Florida. But we'll have to look it up. Although the hard part about looking this up is we won't be able to find a copyright date because it was never officially released.
Let's see.
By the way, while you're looking something up, I just want to point out that Michael Martin, not only did he do the Crossroads and make him say, and I got the hookup, but he also did the East Siders, the movie with Snoop and I forgot the other guy's name, but there's a scene in that movie with Sugar Free. Did Sugar Free ever do a song with Bone?
I don't know.
Because he had like
I thought I just saw a picture of like Lazy Bone and Sugar Free though.
That makes sense. Well, in the movie The East Siders, if you ever see it or if you have it, there's a scene with Sugar Free. They're in jail, and he starts making this beat on the table, and then he busts this super smooth like verse, and it's my favorite. I don't even think I don't remember anything from the movie except the Sugar Free scene. So if you have the East Siders available, check out that Sugar Free scene. It's so pimping, and it's shown that Michael Martin did an NWA Legacy video collection.
Yeah. And
Outkast. He did Elevators and AT Aliens. That is crazy.
Yeah. That guy was killing it. He did the Crossroads. The Crossroads is, it isn't my favorite video, but definitely it's like the greatest Bone video of all fucking time. Like, it's amazing. Yeah. So the questions of the day have been great. We appreciate everybody's answers. We have more of them that are going to come out. I don't know, like I said, if we're going to continue doing everyday content or not. It's fucking wild, but we do have a bunch of questions of the day. I like doing them. I like everybody's responses, so we'll keep that.
It's fun, man. It's probably my favorite part of the show now is these questions of the day. I love them.
I like reading everybody's answers. Everybody's answers it's always nice.
And I feel like we're creating, in a way, a forum, right? So some of the Bone forums aren't what they once were, and you want to have those archived locations to go back to. So now we're creating, a lot of these are just basic questions about getting your input on Bone, but they're really archival, right? And I think these kind of questions of the day could live on for a long time.
We were talking about the collection. And the collection volume 2, and I know I'm slacking, I haven't put up a video, but just so y'all don't forget, this month's giveaway is a copy of the collection volume 1. All you got to do to enter is be commenting on any video from this month, and we have so many fucking videos this month. You got a lot of chances to win. Every comment that you make counts. I see some of you guys 2-3 comments on a video. We appreciate that. So this month we're going to give away a copy of the collection volume 1. Last month we gave away a copy of the Ghetto Cowboy single 1985 Gemini. Brought that home. So, shout out to 1985 Gemini. And don't forget to comment the collection volume 1. And I got some really cool I got some really cool giveaways that are set to come too. We're starting them off slow, Johnny.
Yeah, and
They don't
the
know.
collection volume 1.
They don't
The
know,
what?
bro. They don't fucking know some of the shit that I'm about to give away. I'm starting them off slow because if I come out the gate with some of this shit, the expectation will be too high. Got to start them
Yeah.
off slow. Some of this shit that I'm going to get. Y'all know that I'm looking at 40. I'm looking at 40 copies of Faces of Death. They're 6 inches from me. 40.
It's hard to get just one copy. This guy's got 40 of them.
40. We got 40. We got the record. We got some tapes. We got a bunch of sealed copies. So we're going to give some of those away. I got some other cool shit that I'm going to give away. But this month, we're giving away a copy of the collection. Every comment that you're making is going to count. And we got other giveaways that we're doing too. So if you've made comments on videos from last month, or if your comment this month doesn't win, when we do our 500 giveaway, when we do our 1,000 subscriber giveaway, when we do our 1,500 subscriber giveaway, every comment on every video that's ever happened will be eligible on all those. So everything that you guys are doing is still going to count. And shout out to the 361 people that have subscribed to us in the last 2 months, man. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the
It's been
sub.
good. 2 months, and I can't even start to tell you how crazy it's been for 2 months. When you guys see a month from now, things are going to be real different. Every week things change up here a little bit, but a month from now it should be real fucking wild. It's been a crazy ride. So
Yeah. It is bananas.
there's a lot of dope people making it happen for us, bro. It looks like it's just me and you, but I mean, dude, thugsandharmony.com, Feenics Ryzin, bookofthugs.com, Bone Thugs and Out, loyalbonefans.com. So many people helping make it happen. The groups, BTH board.
And all the mods. We got mods on Beyond the Harmony as well.
Yeah, our Beyond the Harmony group is great. The people that we have, we got a great squad at Beyond the Harmony. If you're not part of the Beyond the Harmony group, it's on Facebook. We have a like page, but we have a group where you can get in there and help with some of the interviews and give us your input before anybody else. So get down with the Beyond the Harmony group. So make sure you're...
Yeah, and
go ahead.
I was going to say, somebody what's cool about it is somebody had posted a new video. It was like an artist that did a track with Busy Bone, and they actually shot a music video for it. The artist was called Blaze. I think that's how you pronounce it, Blais.
Yeah.
It was a really cool video. The guy's performance was really cool, and Busy Bone just like was the vintage Busy, just killing it. And it's like you see that, you're like, man, I wish Busy was doing this the past 22 years because, man, it was. I think everybody that sees it likes it. So if you haven't seen it, I can't remember the name of the song, but it's by this guy named Blaze featuring Busy Bone, and it's a cool video.
Yeah, it's very dope. I saw it, and I thought Blaze did a great job. I'm not sure who Blaze is with. I noticed that his name is I Am Blaze, which Busy's with I Am Media, August Keen and them. So maybe Blaze is with them, but either way, it was a great video. Busy did a phenomenal job in it. I thought Blaze did a phenomenal job as well. So if you haven't checked that out, you guys should check that out. It's always hit or miss when any artist does a feature with the artist that's on the come up. So I thought that was really good, and not just the song. I mean, the fucking video is really good. I can always appreciate when you can tell somebody took time and money and effort and put it into their product.
Yeah, and while we're on it too, I should give a shout out and like an announcement is that if you guys saw the Busy Bone Misery music video, the guy that rapped after Busy, he was kind of like all bloody in a bathtub. He's recently released 2 new singles. One's called Benagoon, and then he's got another one that just came out. And the guy that helped produce the song, Excel Beats, he's been releasing a lot of new material as well. And if you've been with Beyond the Harmony since the very, very, very beginning, you'll remember the very first interview we ever got was with Excel Beats. So he's got a lot of new material. Tall Cuz, TC, he's got a lot of new material. Blaze. So make sure you check all these guys out.
And if you haven't seen those videos, John's got his own solo page. They're on there. They did just hit syndication. We put out part 1 on ours this past Sunday, and we're going to put out part 2 and 3 on the upcoming Sundays. So you got syndication Sunday coming with the Busy Bone Misery interviews. The Excel Beats interview will probably end up there. But there's a unreleased part 4 that didn't make it onto John's Facebook or YouTube rather, and we're gonna be releasing that coming up as well. So if you have been following John's Busy Bone Misery interviews and you saw part 1, 2, and 3, part 4 is going to be coming. If you haven't seen them, make sure you're checking them out every Sunday. Part 1's up there right now on the Beyond the Harmony page.
And what's crazy too is 3 months from now it'll be a year since we filmed Misery, and it's been a wild journey since then. So that's a pretty neat factor. I can't believe how much time flies. And hey, if you haven't seen the Misery music video, you got to see that, man. That's a spectacular music video, visually incredible. And shout out to Raleigh Creative. Raleigh Rodriguez did the music video for that. He is a phenomenal video director. So check him out too. Raleigh Creative.
The video really made me feel good, you know. Like I said, there's a lot of videos now that you can just tell are just they're okay. They're a low budget video, you know what I mean? They're just like, yeah, you know, and it's not like a big deal. I mean, you see it so much that it's a normal thing. But when you see the high quality ones that make you think of like the old, early, like really fucking good videos, Misery just visually is like really good. Really good.
There was and there was a full crew. We're talking like a full production crew with crane. Like it was like they had a big, huge like movie camera. It was like a movie camera, and it had like these rails and a full staff. So it was a real deal production. It was very impressive. It was really cool to be part of it. And visually, hey, this video really looks cool. So if you haven't seen Misery, definitely give that a check out. I was there for it, so I'm definitely promoting that one.
There's been a lot going on in Bone Thugs. One of the things, in fact, it's the thing that kind of helped push this off the ground, was Lazy Bone did the Best of Mo Thugs Volume 1 and 2. Me and John guessed what both tracks will be. We do plan on doing a full video once the CD version comes out, once the second track list drops. The first track list dropped. Me and John did pretty good on it. So we'll talk about that in the video, but I do want to say that for you collectors, on lazygear.com right now, the pre-order is still up, and you can pre-order the Best of Mo Thugs right now for $12.95, and it's 2 fucking discs. So that's, I mean, dude, that's killer. That's great. Especially for a collector. Yeah. You can get the regular one. You can get just disc 1 on like iTunes and all that, you know, right now. I'm pretty sure it's available on there right now. Some great tracks on there. So we'll do a good follow-up video on that one as soon as it drops. I pre-ordered it, just so you know, John. I pre-ordered it, so you know we're going to have to review it.
Absolutely. That's dope as heck that you pre-ordered. And I'll be looking to, we didn't even consider what the CD artwork may include. I'm curious to see how they do do the disc and how they do the panels.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of throwbacks it has. You know, how elaborate they get with it.
I was talking when I look at it really makes me wonder when I look at this the first track list. I'm really curious. I can't wait till the second track list drops. I'm really curious to see what happens. There was a couple that I didn't expect. No Photo made it in there. Graveyard Shift, No Photo. So that totally killed, like what we thought, that we may not see the Graveyard Shift stuff in there. It also opened it up for the fact that the solo, and when I say solo, I mean like Too True by themselves, Poetic Hustlers by themselves. It means that there's a lot of possibility for that on the second disc as well.
Yeah. The first disc was it's a solid lineup. There wasn't too many surprises. The No Photo, once we saw No Photo, it was like, oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. The Graveyard Shift track with Lazy Bone. How did we not see that? And
If you remember, though, I said I thought it was going to be very heavy Lazy Bone. You know.
right. No, I do. Yeah, I do remember. Well, that's why I said, how do we miss it? Based on that context, that lens that we had, that you provided, and when I saw no photo, I was like, wow, cartoon was right, man. He hit it on the head. And,
I'm not even, I'm not even mad. Lazy Bone, Lazy Bone is held it the fuck down for Mo Thugs. He has held it the fuck down. He is what it defines to be the leader of Bone Thugs. He absolutely defines what it is to be the leader of Mo Thugs. If you're gonna fucking highlight anybody in this Mo Thug situation, that fucking guy deserves it. So,
absolutely.
I
Well, and
called
it's a
it.
good song. I mean, when we saw it, it wasn't like we were like no photo. It was like no photo, of course. Of course, no
Yeah.
photo. How did we not even bring that one up? Like I
Right.
was just like kicking myself for forgetting about that track.
Yeah, no, it's dope. It's dope. It made sense. I was happy to see that track list. I'm happy to see it out. It really, we had no idea when we might see it out. So the fact that the first one is already digital gives a lot of hope to see the second one soon. I think they've held back on the second one until the disc is almost ready to go. So it'll be exciting. That'll be great for to get in the mail. I like that Lazy Bone likes to do shit like that, man. People can say what they want about like the Lost Archives and whatever, but Lazy Bone does really try to give the cool shit to the fans.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's given us a lot too. I mean, all those Bone Brothers, all those Lazy Bone solo albums. I mean, he's made a lot of
redid
material.
the Faces of Death. I thought that was if you never were able to get your hand on a real copy of Faces of Death, he did the re-release, and I thought that was a fucking cool move. You still got that on Lazy Gear with the T-shirt. You can get it with a T-shirt.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I'm curious. I'm now my curiosity is up to see what winds up on disc 2. The disc 1 was like really close to what we had predicted as like a combination of our 1 and 2. So
yeah, it wasn't too
when
bad.
That number 2.
It wasn't too bad. We were pretty close, and once I get the disc and the second thing drops, we'll do a full review of it.
Yeah. And it's going to be cool too it's already available on streaming. So I think a lot of people are hearing a lot of stuff for the first time it was in digital quality back then on CD, but if you didn't have the CD, you were just hearing YouTube streams of it, and it wasn't really, some of those tracks weren't available on streaming services until now.
It's dope as fuck that it's on streaming, because Mo Thugs 1 and 2, I don't think those have ever been on streaming of any kind.
Yeah.
So
I got a question for you, and this dawned on me just now, and I think that this is like the missing link in my mind. So, am I wrong? But was the show, not the show, but Everyday Thing from the show soundtrack, was that on any of the collection volume 1 or 2? And the reason why I asked that is because I'm looking at the track list right now for the collection volume 1, and what I really liked about it was that it had Days of Our Lives, Shoot 'Em Up, Breakdown, and Notorious Thugs. Those were all, you had to have like individual singles, so you always had to carry around like 5 discs if you didn't have a CD burner to get them all there. And I remember thinking like, okay, you got them all, but where's Everyday Thing from the show? Like that was the one piece that I felt like was missing.
I also thought that was really cool, because I remember feeling that same way. Like you had to have the single, and they were like, "Nah, fuck that. We're gonna put them all together." Everyday Thing, yeah. I don't know why they didn't.
I wonder how confusing it must have been, because on The Art of War, there's a track called Everyday Thing, right?
I thought
No, that's on Creeping on the Come Up. On Creeping on the Come Up. Wait, what? My mind is thrown off.
Well, they definitely do on Bone Enterprise. On Bone Enterprise, there's an Everyday Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But I think on Art of War, it's like subtitles Everyday Thing Part 2, right? It's an everyday thing when you let your bucks bang.
Yeah, maybe.
And then on that first fix tape, didn't Crazy Bone have a track like the first single from that fix tape was Everyday Thing?
Yeah, but
Then it was like completely reinvented, but that was
you
the name of
know,
the track.
it's like it doesn't even matter. Come on. It's like Mo Murda, Mo Murda, Murda Mo. You know.
Yeah, no, I'm not knocking the song titles. I'm saying, if someone's trying to look something up, I wonder what it's like on a streaming service. You want to hear Everyday Thing, right? But you want to hear the show version, not the fixed tape version, not the Faces of Death version. So like, there's like three songs come up, and how do you know the right one to click on if it doesn't have the icon for the album artwork?
Yeah.
Those are those bone questions, man.
I'm
It's
I'm
like,
looking now. I just looked it up. I was just looking up the digital while we were talking about that just to see, and it's on my Spotify. It's very dope to see Mo Thugs on Spotify like that. That's phenomenal. Good for them, man. That is good to see. Ghetto Cowboy is whooping ass. So
oh yeah, and is it coming from that particular? Yeah, I'm sure everybody would be checking that one first anyway, no matter what.
yeah, there's been no other release with it with it out there. So good for Lazy Bone, man. Lazy Bone's getting the music out there to the fans that want it. I mean, motherfuckers want those discs, and a lot of people. I saw some people kind of knocking it too, like, it's just it's just shit that we already have. But that stuff's not on digital, and I don't know. Maybe this was like Lazy Bone's way to work around the ownership of that and everything, and getting it on digital. Maybe he was able to use it in compilation form. Whatever it is, it's finally digital, and I'm thankful for that, because I fucking use Spotify. I don't play my CDs.
Imagine trying to keep the entire Bone Thugs and Harmony Mo Thugs collection on your phone. I mean, it would use up like half the storage space. So
Yeah.
I'm doing everything through streaming services, and there's been so many times where I wanted to hear a track from Mo Thugs 1 and 2. I type it in. Some of them are there because they wound up on like other compilations. Like I think Ghetto Cowboys on the greatest Bone Thugs and Harmony hits. But there's other tracks I wanted to hear, and they weren't there before. So at least now I got the best of. Ideally it would be the whole collection, but I'll take what I could get. And I guess different streaming services are different. I use Google Play, and up until recently, Mo Thugs did not have the tracks that I wanted to get. So
Yeah.
I'm thrilled that Lazy Bone did this. Keep in mind, we're in a digital age now. So just because you got the physicals, which that's cool that you have the physicals, and you may even have the MP3s as well. But if you're into streaming, which a lot of people are now, this is a good offer.
It's been a good little episode. It felt good to not have to be stressed with an interview. There's some great interviews coming, and I got a substantial list of people that want to be on. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, the names. It seems like every show we do, we end up getting like 3 to 4 more leads. Just that Julio interview. I mean, the leads we got out of that one.
Julio
like
interview is great. It's going to drop next week. It's going to drop next week on you guys. It's a great interview. Lots of questions about the artwork get answered. So I really enjoyed that one. That one was good. Yeah, man. It's been good. We got a lot of great interviews out there. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you check out some of the previous interviews. Please make sure you subscribe. Subscribers are what's helping us make this become bigger. So the more people that take this time to subscribe, the better. If you're listening and you haven't subscribed yet, help your boys out. Do a subscribe. Check out the Julio interview. Make sure you check out, just the side content that we're doing. There's a lot of cool side content. But we need people to share it, people to make sure you're commenting and engaged and subscribing, so that way we can make sure we're still turning this content out for you guys. But it's been a phenomenal response so far, for sure.
And some of the ideas that Cecil and I have been cooking up since the beginning of this, since the first month, since before the first month, haven't even they're still in drawing board status, and some of the ideas are so phenomenal and so big that I mean, we don't even know if we'll get some of them off the ground, but the more support we get, the more we're rolling, the more likely some of these ideas will come to fruition.
Need more time is what it is. I wish I could just do the Bone channel all day, every day of my life.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
hopefully soon, John and I are going to have a lot of options to give you guys a lot more content. But that's this week's. I mean, I think that's this week's Beyond the Harmony. You got anything else for him, John? We had a bunch of stuff down, but I think we got the good stuff.
Yeah. No, this was a solid episode, and the only other thing I would just say is stuff we already covered. Just reflecting on the increase of content, the Mo Monday, the questions of the day, the interviews, and now we even have Syndication Sunday, sometimes St. Clair Sunday. It's remarkable how much content's coming out and how many things that we still have to come out, and just if we had the time to do it all. So Beyond the Harmony is going strong.
Yep. Shout out to, of course, our affiliates, John's personal page, the Jonathan Lippy page, the greatest Bone Thugs cover artist. She does our theme, Feenics Ryzin, thugsandharmony.com, bookofthugs.com, my boy Bone Thugs NL, loyalbonefans.com. We got so many. The BTH board, shout out to them. Who else, man?
Didn't we get and Pontilia's Bones down with us now, right?
Yeah. Showing love.
Shout out to him and all the content he's got.
Bone Thug fans worldwide, the Facebook group, they're awesome. But is it Stony? Is it Melanie or Maloney?
Stony. I'd say it's Stony Maloney because it rhymes, right? Stony Maloney, but it might be Melanie. I don't know. But yeah, Stony Maloney. He reached out a while back too. He's cool as heck.
I think it's Melanie.
Yeah,
I think it's Melanie. I hope it's Melanie. I want to find out. There's all these girl Bone fans out there. I think there's a lot of them. Whoever it is, make sure you let us know. We want to make sure we're getting your name right. But everybody's been helping us. The BTH Brazil team, they've been showing love. So shout out to everybody that's showing love. Make sure you drop some comments. Make sure you subscribe. Check it out. And that's it, man. That's motherfucking.
And shout outs to all the people that added me as a friend on Facebook as well. Like, I don't know if you guys want your names put out there, so shout out to you guys because they were all in private messages. So I know from past video projects I worked on, some people are like, yo, don't put my name out there. So shout out to them too. Shout out to everybody. Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah, much love, man. It's Beyond the Harmony for this week. One more time, I'm Cecil West.
And I'm Jon Lippy.
And this is Feenics Ryzin. We're out of here.
Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate. I'm good in the videos every Thursday, so join us. Beyond the harmony for the fans, we celebrate. I'm good in the videos every Thursday, so join us.